Whisper in the yard and turn the trees all into toys. Lay there on the ground and turn the dirt into your joy. Before you start to drift and your soul begins to scream, I just wanted to tell you that you're listening to a dream.
Pace's Playground. Pace's Playground Podcast. Pace's Playground Podcast.
First thing I've got to ask, how's Chi? Chi is, he's still, after 2 years, still pretty much fighting to get back. He's making progress, but it's very slow, and I don't know. I think we're just kind of all hoping for the best. I think he wants to make it through it, so I think we're just staying positive about it and hoping that he'll come around. But we just have to be patient because it's going to take time, I think. Yeah.
Has this hardship influenced the band or the inner workings of the band, or?
Well, it's affected us in a lot of ways, man. I mean, I spent a lot of my life, next to that dude. You know what I mean? So if something like this happens to one of your best friends, it affects you in a lot of ways. But one of the ways, I guess, definitely is with what we do here in music and each other. I mean, it definitely brought us closer together. I think anytime something like this happens, it makes you reevaluate your life. I think in general, and how short it can be, and how precious, I guess, everything is. And so as a band, I think it brought us close together, and maybe got us to focus a little bit harder than we have in the past. And we had to go in and kind of rebuild, our whole foundation, and that's kind of what we did from that point on.
And what about you, Sergio, coming in the band inside that turmoil? In that situation, any more difficulty to adapt to the situation?
I think it was the context. It was just the fact that something horrible had happened to somebody who I know, somebody that I've known for some time, and who I admire, and to a band of people that I've known since 1995, and I had a chance to kick it with, and I filled in for Chi before '99, and I just really think these are fantastic people, and it's just that's it. And just coming in for me was just more like my concern was just trying to be like a positive component and just trying to help out in whatever capacity possible. And I wasn't, not so much concerned about anything outside in the outside realm. I think that I would figure that would take care of itself, but just putting my best foot forward within the world of the band, and just being present as possible.
You just said making something positive out of it. Did you maybe exploit this situation in a creative way, and does that show into Diamond Eyes?
That's what we had to do. I think when this happened, we had two choices. We could either cease being a band, or if we were going to be a band again, we had to rebuild our infrastructure, and the way to do that was to start completely over again. And when Sergio came in, we just started writing from that moment. And we did get into a creative flow. I think when a lot of these things are going on, it was very easy for us to just lose ourselves in the music, and that's kind of what we did. And when we brought our heads up, a month and a half, 2 months later, we had a record's worth of material that we wrote probably faster than we have, in the last 7-8 years. So that was a great thing for us, and I think we learned something from that. I know when we're going to make a record from here on out, that we plan on capturing that that energy and just going in and not overthinking things and spending so many months and years making records and just being together, enjoying our time together, and creating, and capturing that time, and that's what we did in that 2 months, and that was the funnest. Aside from everything we were going through, it was the most pleasant record-making process because we were able to just to adapt that work ethic.
When I did my 2010 year in review in music, I gave Diamond Eyes the top spot with Rammstein, their latest. When I listened to Diamond Eyes, I got hope that I lost for the new rock, new metal scene, because all the bands that I used to listen to in the early 90s, they've gone either soft, flat, or just disappointing. How did you, with Deftones, stay relevant and evolve within your own Deftones style?
Well, I think we've always been doing that. I mean, even in the mid '90s or late '90s when supposedly new metal was even at its peak or being born or whatever it was. I mean, I felt like we were already steering our ship away from that. When all these big new metal records that were selling millions of records came out. We put out a record called White Pony, which is a very left turn from I think where we started from with Adrenaline. I mean, I feel like we did it with Around the Fur as well, but with every record, I think we always try to not fall into a character, fall into a formula, just be like, this is who we are, and let's just make another record for the sake of making a record. I think we always try to step out of our comfort zone and try to be creative, do something that we know that we are all nodding our heads to and we all like. And it seems like if we do that, then we're always challenging ourselves, we're having fun, and we're being creative, and I don't think we can lose, and the only way I think we're going to lose is if we get complacent and we start following, just like trends or formulas or whatever, and we've never felt that way before. That's why I think I'm 37 years old and I'm still able to be doing this. Otherwise, I would have definitely been bored by now. I get bored too easy with things in life. That if it was just just going through the motions of it, and it was just us trying to keep up with what was going on around us, I wouldn't be interested in it.
So compared with Saturday Night Wrist,
compared to it,
yeah, maybe the approach, like to me, doing a record is like, let's do this creatively for that album, and then we're gonna evolve on that. So on the next album, you say we're going to do something else. So what was the method or maybe the goal on that?
I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't necessarily apply to all people. That's a way that a person may approach life, but sometimes it's as simple as, wow, I got some cool new gear, can't wait to use it, and I'm here with my friends, and we've just been bumping these sick albums for the past couple of years, and I can't wait to just like play some music with this new gear and my homies, and allow all these influences to just kind of like flush through you and just make something that just feels good.
I don't think we ever go into making a record with the preconceived thoughts of what it should be, what it's going to sound like, what I'm going to sing about, what it's supposed to represent, like none of that. I think we go in, just like you said, with the idea that we're just going to play some music with our friends, and we're not going to stop until these songs that we're making are like
so
we're all just like
there like this because you got your vibe and everyone's just like this, and it's just
yeah.
like, and it's not so much based on like, oh well, this thing is right now charting right now, so we should really be doing this kind of music or whatever, and let's really try to approximate this for this end. It's the end is us being excited in that room, just like there, and then it's like, that's cool, we commit, and I think that goes back to your other question about staying relevant and saying things. It's just that the excitement and the sincerity is there, and it's just never been lost. It's like this band from before I came in, and looking at the records, it's always about things that this thing is excited about. It's like the band, people are excited about the music they're making and playing and putting out there. And that's what makes it true. I've
met a lot of bands through the years, and I think that you've just confirmed a trend. People that grow into the music business as musicians, you just stay little boys. You get to 37, like you said, but you speak like you're still playing in your mom's garage, and you're just doing it for the fun.
Of course. I mean, I think if you're not having fun, then what the fuck am I doing out here? I'm not getting rich out here. You know what I mean? There's a lot better ways to make a lot more money doing other things in life, whether it be, anything. Yeah. I mean, really, music. Like, I wouldn't advise any kid to like start a band to like do anything else other than just have fun.
Seriously? Even at the level of Deftones?
What do you mean? No, I mean, we make a living, but it's not crazy. It's not like I don't have boats and fucking motorcycles and shit. You know what I mean? I have a normal fucking life, and I have to work hard. I have to be out here on tour, 9 months out of the year, pretty much. I mean, in order to do this, and I like that. It's not, there's a lot worse jobs. I'm not complaining about it at all. But the main reason why I'm doing it is because it's fun. You know what I mean? And because and it's what I do. You know what I mean? But that has to be their main reason. That's why I would tell any kid who's starting a band, like, please do it because you like doing it and because you're enjoying yourselves. And, don't do it for any other reason because it's not worth it.
Yeah, like the energy to return, you know what I mean? Like you can, it's like you put a lot of energy, you work and you make a great thing and it's a fantastic thing, but it's not like starting, Facebook or something. You know what I mean? You start Facebook, you know what I mean?
Like, I got the same thought when I saw the social network. Man, I wish I had that idea.
You start Facebook and then you want sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Forget the rock and roll, sex, drugs, and Facebook. It's like whatever.
Pretty good also.
Now that you've become veteran on the music scene, do you still go back to your earlier influences, like say Mike Patton, or are you like grown into an artist that, I don't know how to say that you don't have to go outwards to create, that you've grown your own, let's say, creative garden, if that's maybe you'll do shit.
I mean, even Mike Patton, like I wouldn't say that he was the influence of mine, other than I like the fact that he has a lot of different influences and he uses them the way that he uses them. So actually that makes him a very great singer because he's out of the box. He doesn't sing, he can do anything, I mean, he does pretty much in one song. He'll do fucking 7 different, characters almost in a way. And I think that's awesome. But that's kind of the way I feel like, I'm influenced the same way. I have a lot of different influences that span from people like Sade, who are just straight moody, singers that use their voice to soothe and to, and just melodically. And I also enjoy HR from the Bad Brains, who's just rhythmically just genius, and a lot from that to whatever. I mean, I like all kinds of different types of vocalists. So, but for me, I never really look at, or one person, or I could never do that. Say this person is what influenced me to sing. It's just more or less. I think it's a melting pot of everything that I grew up listening to, whether it be Michael Jackson from when I was 8 years old, or the Thompson Twins, or Boy George, or whoever. I mean, I listened to a lot of shit growing up that helped shape my sense of melody and music, and
that still helps you today.
Yeah, I mean, and then there's new artists and things that I listen to too that maybe aren't even vocalists, that are just like you said, we'll put on records and it's just beats, and we'll just listen and bug after these beats and just be like, wow, what I mean, and it'll just excite you so much to like, I can't wait to make a new record because we just need to make some shit that the beats are just infectious like this,
That's
what I mean?
Really what it is, yeah.
And, so there's influences that come from many things, from movies, from not even music sometimes, from like something visual. You get excited about it, and go, wow, that makes me want to make a fucking riff or create, or write something on the guitar or vocal melody or something. And I don't know, that's the fun part about life, about being influenced and influencing other people, and just being sort of like a disease.
Yeah, you're like part of this zoo. Yeah, everyone's just an ingredient, just getting hyped up, and then it's like that when you get to travel with another band and how they do it, and then it starts to fuck with how you do things because you just rubs off and everyone just gets hyped. Like we're traveling with Dillinger, and I was talking to those guys and we were getting excited about the things that contrast in each other. They're like, oh man, your things are so open in your tones, and I'm like, damn, your fucking technique, and it's just like everything just keeps you wanting to run back to your outlet, which is music.
My favorite song, Deftones all time, is Elite, and I have been a professional wrestler in the past, and that was my entry song. Could you discuss, because it was just raw, there's no intro, it's straight to the punch, it's straight anarchy, and that would push me to do flips up the top rope and things across chairs and tables and so on and so forth. Could you discuss the production? Because I'm a huge fan of Transformers, so when I heard the song, I was like, that one is mine. Yeah, how did this
Megatron?
Yeah.
Or Starscream, or who's the one that Soundwave a little bit. Yeah, it's definitely got it's got the old school vocoder on it that we use, but we ran it through my vocals through Stefan's guitar, because in order to use a vocoder, which is the effect that gives you that robot kind of sound, you need to signal it with something, and it needs to have a signal that's running through it. So the signal we gave was Stefan's guitar, and when I sang over that, it gave it like this, just punishing vocal effect, and it was really fun. It was just us experimenting in the studios with Terry Day, and I mean, it was just like, it was funny. The one thing that I remember very distinctly was the day that I recorded the vocals for that record. My grandmother came to visit me in the studio, and it was so funny because like that's the, she could have came any other day, like when we were recording Digital Bath or Change or some like beautiful, like more pretty song. But she showed up at the studio that day when I was recording that song. And I just remember her like in the control room when I was in the room just screaming my head off. And her just thinking like, man, my grandson's crazy. But yeah, I mean, that was it was a fun thing, and we actually ended up winning a Grammy Award for that song. Which is kind of cool because that song is so not like pop, like you said. There's no intro. It's like there's no format to that. Like it'll make it like a anything other than just what it is, just like a raw energy song. That there's a lot of energy in it, and a lot of just like it kind of makes you unbridled energy, I guess. What makes you kind of lose it sometimes, like you said, with the wrestling, with things. It's just kind of the song has that in it, and it's fun to make. It's good to capture.
To end on a good note, if people listening on XM right now want to help out financially with Chi's situation, how may they help?
One Love for Chi is the best place to go. That's although it's not updated as much as I'm sure they would like to, because Chi's mother is very busy. She takes care of him, and she also helps run that site. So, but if you go there, you can find ways you could help in any ways. Donate your time, money, whatever it is. That's where you'll get most of the latest information as well. I mean, I go there too to look on there. So, oneloveforchi.com.
This is Playground Podcast. Find it, hear it on SoundCloud and iTunes. Comment, react, or troll via Twitter at PlaygroundPod, Facebook.com/PlaygroundPodcast, email playgroundpodcast@hotmail.com.
PlaygroundPodcast.com.